Hi, Ed Bateman here from the World Music Method. In this lesson, I want to talk to you a bit about brain independence. A lot of the comments that I get on YouTube quite frequently say, how can a person teach and play bass at the same time? Or how can someone talk and play bass at the same time and make it look comfortable? Well, the truth is it's not always been comfortable. There's a time when I couldn't do this at all. I couldn't speak when I was playing at the same time. I couldn't even think when I was playing at the same time. I really didn't have that flexibility. And it's only when I started singing that I learned this. And a lot of people think that playing bass and singing at the same time is difficult. It is, because you're often going to have a different rhythm that your hands and your vocals are doing. As a bass player, often, unless you're playing a chord, it's a monotonous instrument. So although you've got two hands playing, really they're playing the same rhythm. They're not doing anything independent of each other. Like a piano player would, they have two hands, would be doing different rhythms quite often. And especially drummers, they would have four limbs, two hands, 2 feet, they're doing different rhythms quite a lot of the time. That syncopation is built into the way they learn their instruments, so they're naturally going to develop a lot more brain independence than a bass player would. But it doesn't mean we're limited to that. That's something we can work on. If you do want to be able to talk comfortably, the first thing you need to be able to do is just count. Can you count time whilst playing and without losing your rhythm? Simple as this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if that's easy, try counting on the offbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back like that. If you want to make it a bit more tricky, you can count in triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's important, you can hear my foot is counting out the time. It's really important to have that locked in. Certainly the first thing you need is independence between your foot keeping the pulse and what your hands are doing. Sometimes when I see students, they might be new to the bass, their foot will be sometimes be following what their hands are playing. That's really not what you want. You've got to be able to keep your foot going. Great to have a metronome on when you're working on these kind of exercises. And so what I'm playing, it's a soukous bass line. To make it a bit more difficult, try and sing that cavacha rhythm that we've been working on this course. That kind of soukous style. Something like this. Da 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 da. The more complicated it gets, obviously I would find that my hands might be following the rhythm that I'm singing and they get stuck together. But it's just through working on this, your brain will find new ways to separate the way it thinks about these notes. And really, if you're singing a line, playing a bass line at the same time, as well as tapping the foot, you can think of that as one instrument. Imagine if you had one musical stave that had your 4 count with the foot, your bass line, and whatever you're singing, all as one instrument. You'd see exactly where all those beats fall, where those notes are. You'd know where in relationship to each other they are, and it would become a lot more simple. Now we can try salsa tumbao. We've been looking at this tumbao in the salsa part of the lesson on the course. Same thing, you want to be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that salsa clave, you've really got to be able to feel that to get the hang of salsa music. So, whilst keeping the foot, counting the pulse, and playing this tumbao, which really is quite an interesting line where these beats fall, try and sing that clave, the 3-2. Ta 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 ta. Now, if you can't do that, really, chart those notes chart those beats in notation, see where they relate to each other. Think of it as one instrument. Ta 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 ta. Same thing with bossa nova. Yeah, bossa nova drummer, they would often with their kick drum have this da-dum, 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 da-dum. Not always, but it's quite common with bossa nova grooves. So syncopation is extremely easy for them. Again, try and count on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And try and count off the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And really try and focus on the time, keeping it relaxed, not rushing, not pushing these notes. Now the bossa nova clave, similar to the 3/2 salsa, but with the last beat pushed, sorry, not pushed, delayed. So it would go like this. Ta 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 ta. And if you got the hang of that, then try and make what you're playing more complicated. Ta 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 ta. See, when I played that fill, sounds a bit more relaxed when I'm not trying to sing the clave. But that doesn't matter, you know, it just takes practice to work on these things. Let's try it again. Ta 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 ta. So really, just through counting, singing different rhythms, testing yourself. If it's too easy, make it more difficult. That's how you're going to stretch yourself. That's how your brain is really going to open up. And when you can do stuff that's more complicated with freedom easily, then imagine how comfortable you'll be when you're playing something simple. And you'll notice that talking will come much simpler. Singing, if you're singing and playing an instrument at the same time, then you'll have that freedom where you'll be able to focus on the performance and the delivery of those notes, rather just thinking about how where they're landing in relation to the instrument and trying to sing in time and play in time. You'll be able to focus on performing.